Throughout the underhives of Necromunda, violent crime and other similar such acts of general lawlessness and strife are seen by many as simply being a part of everyday life. Fugitives from the upper reaches of Necromundan society will seek to flee down Hive in order to escape retribution and justice, while tribes of mutants from the darkest reaches of the Hive will conduct raids upon guilder caravans and civilian convoys. Gangs of outlaws will seek to pillage various backwater settlements for what meagre resources they possess, while aspiring crime lords will seek to create their own black market empires in order to gain power, influence, and, above all else, an ever-increasing stockpile of credits. Such unsavory characters will frequently have bounties placed upon their heads by order of the World's Merchants Guild, who will pay handsomely for the successful capture or killing of such criminals. While anybody upon Necromunda can theoretically claim a bounty placed upon such outlaws and miscreants, the financial rewards to be made in hunting down such individuals will commonly attract the attention of professional bounty hunters. These bounty hunters are seen as being both highly skilled and exceptionally dangerous individuals who boast an almost unparalleled talent for survival and murder. Despite commonly being regarded as loners, it is not unheard of for multiple bounty hunters to form temporary alliances when hunting a particularly dangerous or large bounty. Those bounty hunters involved in such coalitions are known officially as venators. Other times, if no worthwhile bounties are available, or if they simply share a common goal, then bounty hunters will hire themselves out as mercenaries to one of the many house-aligned hive gangs that operate throughout the Underhive. Bounty hunters can come from almost any walk of life, with many being former gang runners, hive scum, or even disillusioned members of the aristocracy in search of adventure. But such endeavours are not undertaken exclusively by baseline humans, as many abhuman strains, such as squats, longshanks, and even beastmen, can also become fully licensed bounty hunters. One of the most mysterious and dangerous of all bounty hunters upon Necromunda is a man known throughout the Underhive as Vandoth the Fallen. Vandoth is a giant of a man known for his incredible strength and almost unnatural durability, with numerous tales being recounted across the world of his ability to crush a man's skull in his fist, as well as turning aside blows with his iron-hard flesh. Most disturbingly of all, however, are the many rumours that suggest that Vandoth may display a number of traits and behaviours which can only be described as being vampiric in nature. Some have claimed that Vandoth sports a pair of elongated canines with which the giant uses to feed upon the blood of the slain, following the culmination of any battle or skirmish that he participates in. There are numerous contradicting accounts in regards to both where Vandoth came from and to just what exactly he is. All that is known for certain is that he has wandered the depths of Necromunda's hives for centuries, wielding an oversized and ancient pattern of bolt gun in battle. Somewhat unusually for a bounty hunter, Vandoth's services have been sought by both hive gangs and outlaw bands alike, who promise the giant glory, credits, or other such resources in exchange for his assistance. However, it would appear that the bounty hunter will only choose to aid others should his own personal interests align with theirs, with Vandoth seemingly serving no true master but himself. In spite of the various rumours surrounding him, one key detail remains uncertain. Just what exactly is Vandoth? One of the more common rumours regarding Vandoth is that the bounty hunter was a vat-born member of House Goliath whose genetic sequence had somehow become corrupted during the gestation process, inadvertently resulting in Vandoth developing a form of vampirism. The members of House Goliath are known for being physically larger, stronger, and more robust than the average hiver, though at the cost of being slower in mind and body, being mentally unstable, as well as demonstrating a shorter lifespan. This is due primarily to the fact that the ancestors to the modern-day Goliaths have been artificially engineered by House Escher and House Van Saar in order to act as a slave caste. However, the Goliaths would eventually rebel against their masters and, in time, establish themselves as a legitimate clan house. As a result of their physiological characteristics and psychological traits, a number of adepts within the Administratum have proposed the notion to officially classify the members of House Goliath as an entirely new abhuman strain. The members of House Goliath can be separated into two categories: Nat-born, who are born naturally, and Vat-born, which are artificially produced within great amniovats. If Vandoth was a Vat-born Goliath, then not only would this explain the man's incredible size and strength, but any abnormalities, such as his supposed vampirism, could be due to an unforeseen error or glitch that occurred during his creation. This hypothetical glitch could have also resulted in the bounty hunter developing an epidermis that demonstrated an unusually high level of durability. Vandoth's need to feed upon blood could also be a result of the inherent mental instability found within the Goliath genome, which would mean that any desire to feed upon blood would be due to some inherent form of psychosis. While this would initially seem to be a somewhat feasible explanation, what makes the possibility of Vandoth being a member of House Goliath rather unlikely is due to his exceptionally long lifespan. Goliaths, as mentioned earlier, tend to have shorter lifespans when compared to other hivers, and Vat-born in particular, as detailed within the book House of Chains, will live for only 10 years on average. This reduced lifespan is primarily a result of their accelerated growth within the house's amniovats, which in turn also forces Vat-born to become highly dependent on chemical supplements over the course of their lives. Since Vandoth has been stated to have been roaming the underhives of Necromunda for centuries, this would seem to imply that Vandoth is not a member of House Goliath. Despite this, there is a minute possibility that Vandoth could have originated from the ranks of House Cawdor. This is due primarily to the fact that Vandoth covers his face with a stylized mask, which is highly evocative of the ones worn by those men and women affiliated with House Cawdor, which in turn is due to the house being a stronghold of the fanatical religious organization known as the Cult of the Redemption. Those who follow the teachings of the Redemptionist cult believe it is a sin to have one's face exposed, resulting in the members of House Cawdor and other followers of the cult's teachings to wear masks when in public. Vandoth, as mentioned earlier, is also depicted as wearing a mask, keeping his features hidden in a similar manner. What makes the possibility of Vandoth being associated with Cawdor or the Redemptionists seem somewhat unlikely is once again due to not only his extraordinarily long lifespan, but also various physical traits that could suggest some form of genetic augmentation or mutation. House Cawdor, as well as any others who follow the teachings of the Redemptionist cult, have a special disdain for mutants, viewing them as abominations that violate the God Emperor's grand design. If Vandoth's physical attributes were as a result of mutation, then it would seem more probable for those affiliated with House Cawdor to have done all in their power to purge such a creature from the God Emperor's realm. That being said, however, various Cawdor-aligned gangs have been known to, somewhat hypocritically, incorporate specialist mutants within their ranks. These mutants, known as stick shamblers, will consist of a physically frail yet cognitively capable individual that is symbiotically bonded to a larger and more physically powerful brute of a creature, which in turn acts as both a mount and dim-witted enforcer for their diminutive partner. What could also support the possibility of Vandoth originating from the ranks of House Cawdor, however, is due to the fact that Vandoth displays an incredibly strong and intense hatred of chaotic corruption. As detailed within the Book of Ruin, Vandoth is known to display an unprecedented savagery when battling against those tainted by the influence of chaos. Since the Cult of the Redemption followed by House Cawdor is, in itself, an extremist take on the more conventional Imperial cult, then this hatred of chaos could have been indoctrinated into Vandoth from an early age. However, this would still fail to explain as to how the bounty hunter was able to survive for several centuries within the depths of Necromunda's underhives, a region where one's life expectancy drastically diminishes due to malnutrition as well as exposure to various toxins, pollutants, and predators. The only reasonable explanation in this regard is that if Vandoth was a Cawdor mutant, then his mutations have in turn gifted him with an unnaturally long lifespan. But what if Vandoth was not affiliated with any of the great clan houses of Necromunda, nor was he a mutant but had simply obtained a level of infamy throughout the Underhive? What if instead, Vandoth was in actuality an Astartes? Thanks to their various genetic augmentations, Space Marines are not only larger than baseline humans, but also stronger and faster, both physically and mentally. The lifespan of a typical Astartes also greatly surpasses that of a typical human, with the average Space Marine capable of living for hundreds, if not thousands of years. These factors alone would certainly explain Vandoth's own unnatural size, strength, and longevity, but there are several pieces of additional evidence with which to support this hypothesis. The fact that Vandoth is claimed to display vampiric tendencies could be due to the bounty hunter bearing gene seed from the 9th Legion of the Legione Astartes, the Blood Angels. After all, one of the more notable flaws found within this particular source of genetic stock is one known to the Blood Angels and their successor chapters as the Red Thirst, which instills within those that succumb to it an intense hunger for blood. Not only that, but another flaw displayed by those with Blood Angels genetic stock is that the chapter's warriors develop a set of retractable canine fangs that are known as eye teeth. In addition, since Vandoth is known to hide his face behind a mask, then if he is indeed an Astartes, it is even possible that his chapter of origin could be that of the Angel Sanguine chapter, as not only does the chapter exhibit the same genetic flaws as the Blood Angels due to being a successor chapter, but the Battle Brothers of the Angel Sanguine are known to keep their faces hidden from anyone outside of the chapter. The fact that Vandoth also carries an oversized bolter would also appear to support this possibility, due to the fact that the bolter is the signature weapon of a Space Marine. Vandoth's apparent hatred towards the powers of chaos could also be due to the psycho-indoctrination process that all Space Marine aspirants undergo as part of their training. Indeed, the Blood Angels and their successor chapters harbour an especially deep resentment towards those that serve the ruinous powers, due in part to the fact that their Primarch Sanguinius was slain by the traitorous Warmaster Horus Lupercal thanks to Horus being blessed and augmented by the Chaos Gods. What would appear to debunk this possibility, however, is that the official artistic depiction given for Vandoth within the Book of Ruin would appear to suggest that Vandoth lacks any trace of a black carapace, the specialist organ which allows a Space Marine to interface with their power armor at a neurological level. As detailed within the Codex Astartes booklet for the Emperor's Spears chapter, packaged with the limited edition version of Spear of the Emperor, an Astartes will have various interface nodes across their body for their power armor, including upon their torso and limbs. Vandoth, as mentioned earlier, appears to lack these nodes, which could suggest that he may not be a Space Marine that had, for whatever reason, gone rogue. That being said, however, it is possible that Vandoth is still an Astartes, although not necessarily a complete one. In fact, there is a chance that Vandoth could have formerly been a Scout Marine. When new aspirants are inducted into a Space Marine chapter, they will typically be formed into Scout Squads. These Scouts will, over time, have the various additional organs derived from their chapter's gene seed surgically implanted into their bodies, until they are deemed ready to become fully fledged Battle Brothers. Upon their promotion, a Scout will receive the last of their genetic implants, the Black Carapace, allowing them to properly utilize a set of power armor before being assigned to a specialist squad such as the Devastators or Assault Marines, depending upon the chapter in question. If Vandoth was a former scout for the Blood Angels or a Blood Angels successor chapter, such as the Angel Sanguine, then not only would this explain his enhanced size, strength, longevity, choice of weaponry, and hatred of chaos, but also a reasonable justification as to why the bounty hunter lacks the Black Carapace organ. If Vandoth is truly a rogue Space Marine, then the next question that needs to be asked is, why did Vandoth choose to abandon his chapter? Was Vandoth the sole survivor of a Blood Angel successor chapter that fell to extinction, or could he have been the sole member of his chapter that refused to walk the Eightfold Path? Or did Vandoth simply choose to make a new life for himself after being left for dead upon the battlefield? We may never know the truth. What do you think? Leave a comment below, and thanks for watching.